right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Rain chances ramp up just a bit heading into Tuesday. The Weather First team tracking an even better chance of more significant rain later in the week.
Plus tonight, new year, new price hike. The household staple that could cost you more. But first tonight, Final Four. The candidates to be the next police chief in St. Louis.
And the candidate's going to have to really step up to the plate.
Where and when you can meet them.
Tonight, we know the names of the 4 candidates who want to become St. Louis's next police chief. Good evening. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. New tonight, our Robert Townsend live outside police headquarters downtown with community reaction. Robert.
Mike and Ann, 4 men say they want to run this police department, but in the end, only one of them will get the job. Here are the pictures of the 4 law enforcement leaders who are vying to become the new police chief of the St. Louis Police Department. They are 58-year-old Chief Larry Boone of the Norfolk, Virginia Police Department, 58-year-old Chief Robert Tracy of Wilmington, Delaware, 45-year-old Deputy Chief Melron Kelly from Columbia, South Carolina, and interim St. Louis Police Chief, 58-year-old Michael Sack.
Police chief who will police the police. I think is important.
The president of the St. Louis NAACP also thinks the city's next commander-in-chief must build community relations and help bridge the gap between citizens and police officers.
Having a knowledge base and a drive to interact with the community.
5 on Your Side has learned all 4 candidates have master's degrees. In April, Larry Boone retired as Norfolk's police chief. Boone said gun violence played a role in his decision to end his tenure as chief.
Our main concern is we really want to stop the violence.
Robert Tracy oversees the police department in Delaware's largest city. In January, the Wilmington City Council gave him a vote of no confidence. Melron Kelly currently serves as second in command at the Columbia, South Carolina Police Department. Sheila Price is the vice president of Mothers Advocating Safe Streets. Price says curbing gun violence, break-ins at businesses, and other crimes must be a top priority for St. Louis's next top cop.
We want to get the drugs off the street.
Interim Police Chief Michael Sack is the only internal candidate at SLMPD the city is considering for the job. He's been on the force for nearly 28 years.
I would prefer that they stick with someone from the city of St. Louis that know the inner workings of the city.
Now, the public can meet the candidates tomorrow night. A town hall meeting gets underway at 6 at Vashon High School. Now, I also should tell you this, questions must be submitted online. We're live downtown, Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
New tonight, St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster Dan McLaughlin has been arrested again for DWI. Creve Coeur police say an officer pulled McLaughlin over last night along I-270 near Ladue Road and failed a field sobriety test. Today, he was transferred to the St. Louis County Jail after the prosecuting attorney charged him as a persistent offender. In the state of Missouri, the Class D felony comes after a 3rd DWI arrest. McLaughlin was previously arrested for DWI in 2010 and 2011. If convicted, he could be sentenced to up to 4 years in prison.
Well, a cool night across St. Louis tonight. The sun came out this afternoon, but it could be the last time we see it for the rest of the week. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking rain tomorrow in his Weather First forecast.
We are. It's not going to be a lot of rain tomorrow, but by the same token, the clouds are going to be pretty thick across the area, and we do not anticipate seeing much in the way of sunshine over the course of the next several days. Right now, the clouds are rolling back in. We're starting to see the visibilities go down a little bit in some of the areas east and southeast of St. Louis. And when we say go down a little bit, there's a little bit of light fog, 4 or 5 miles. That's not going to reduce your visibility for traveling, but you see the clouds rolling back in. Now, there's nothing in terms of rainfall on the radar screen around the area right now. Our Weather First Doppler radar scanning the skies. Nothing to see here at the moment. Tomorrow, that will change. Our rain chances increase later tomorrow morning into the afternoon hours. The most likely time we'll see showers in the metro area around 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Then the chances start to drop off a little bit. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll track that out with Futurecast, and we'll be looking ahead to the next weather system, which actually has a better plume of moisture with it, which means more significant rain later this week.
Developing tonight, horrific new details about a deadly attack of a Wildwood man while vacationing in New Orleans. 73-year-old David Sorensen was beaten to death in his hotel room as his wife hid in the bathroom. The suspect, 29-year-old Martin Hurtado, tells investigators he went to the hotel after work but doesn't remember what happened next. Sorensen's wife was awakened by a fire alarm and heard someone knocking on their door.
Barb thought that security was at the door saying, "Let's go down." And when she opened it up, he forced himself in, pushed her back, and she ran out.
Before running out, Sorensen's wife saw Hurtado punch her husband in the face. His funeral will be Saturday morning at Living Word Methodist Church in Wildwood.
Tonight, we know the identity of a 14-year-old boy who was murdered in downtown St. Louis. Police say Lamarion Davis was shot multiple times near 10th and Locust early Saturday morning. Anyone with information about this crime is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. A reminder that tipsters can stay anonymous and could get a reward. St. Louis police have made an arrest in a deadly shooting outside a North City grocery store. It happened Saturday night in the parking lot of the Price Chopper on Goodfellow. Investigators say 38-year-old Troy Bond was shot in his car and then went into the store for help. Police have arrested a 28-year-old woman. She is yet to be charged, so we're not naming her.
Tonight, we now know 2 of the 3 people killed in a car crash along I-55. This is south of Cape Girardeau. They were students at Southeast Missouri State University. The single car crash happened just after 7 last night in Scott County. The Missouri State Highway Patrol is telling us the driver swerved to miss a deer and hit a tree. The driver, 20-year-old Audrey Smith of Bridgeton, died. 20-year-old Andrew Marzuko of St. Genevieve and 19-year-old Mallory Carter of Brighton, Illinois, also died in that crash. 3 other passengers were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The president of the university sent out a letter today saying they were also SEMO students.
Concerns tonight about unsafe drinking water in St. Charles has led city leaders to shut down its largest water well. This means only 2 of the 7 wells at the Elm Point well field are still in operation. That leaves the water treatment plant operating at 25% capacity. Now, the city assures the water is still safe to drink. The EPA has confirmed contamination at the site, but says further investigation is needed. A public comment period, which was supposed to end today, has been extended to March 6th. Tonight, a controversial development in Chesterfield went before the city council. There was a first reading, but not a vote, on a $353 million tax increment financing plan. It would help fund a new multi-million-dollar housing and retail development. Parkway School District leaders are concerned that there will not be enough funding for the hundreds of potential new students. A final vote is expected at next week's council meeting. Well, if you are one of the millions of people across the country that is yet to get a real ID, you're in luck. Once again, the Department of Homeland Security has pushed the start date back, this time by 2 years.
We've heard this story a few times.
Yes, we have.
5 on your side's Tracy Hinson spoke with Homeland Security about why Real ID rules have now been delayed for the 4th time. Tracy.
And Mike, the first deadline was in 2008. States pushed back then. Then October 2020 was the next goal, but for obvious reasons, that deadline was delayed. Then came 2021 and then 2023, both citing COVID hardship for the deferment. Now the new goal date is May 2025. The reason?
There's backlogs in the state DMV offices, and as a result, we want to make sure they're able to clear those backlogs, but also able to issue more Real ID compliant driver's licenses.
Why the backlogs?
Many motor vehicle administration offices were closed for the pandemic. People couldn't either renew or in person. And of course, the idea of getting a Real ID became more complicated by that.
The new date to have that Real ID in your hands at the TSA checkpoint is May 2025.
What travelers need to know is that doesn't mean that you can't go today, next month, to get your Real ID, to make sure you're ready for when this law is enforced.
You might already have a Real ID and not know it. In both Missouri and Illinois, your card will have a gold star in the corner.
Real ID requires 4 things. It requires a proof of citizenship in the United States, a proof of your identity, your social security number, and a proof of residency in the state.
Lori says now is the time to make it happen.
We don't want to see you on May 7th, 2025 at the checkpoint with your non-ID compliant driver's license, where the TSA officer will have no choice but to turn you away because you don't have an acceptable form of identification.
Even if you don't plan to travel, Lori says don't bet on it.
Let me tell you, there's a segment of the population that says, oh, I don't travel, I don't fly. You never know. You can never predict where things may take you.
The usual place for needing a real ID is the airport, but nuclear power plants and federal facilities, including military bases, also require the real ID.
Tracy, thanks. Well, in just 3 days, recreational marijuana will be legal in Missouri, and it comes just 1 month after voters passed Amendment 3. Sales of recreational pot won't begin until February 6th, but dispensaries can begin applying for permits. The biggest change you'll notice starting Thursday is possession. Missourians over the age of 21 can possess 3 ounces of marijuana. The expungement process for nonviolent marijuana convictions can also begin.
The Animal Protective Association is now in charge of St. Louis County's Pet Adoption Center. That takeover was official today. It comes after a 2019 audit report found poor conditions at the county's facility, including overcapacity. Today, crews started a deep clean of the facility in Olivet. They also rolled out a new pet foster program. The new APA Adoption Center is expected to open to the public tomorrow.
Tonight, your gas bill is going up, but assistance programs are expanding. We'll tell you if you're one of the many families now eligible. Black Friday and Cyber Monday have come and gone, but the holiday deals aren't over. The deep discounts still available on popular gadgets and devices.
The active jet stream pattern continues across the region. That means periodic rain chances. The Weather First Futurecast will time those out. Plus, we're looking ahead towards the weekend and our chances of seeing sun.
Tonight, family and friends of a 15-year-old girl gunned down in Atlanta, Georgia are trying to raise money to bring her back to her hometown of St. Louis to be buried. Layla Harris was shot and killed Saturday night while attending a birthday party. Police believe the shooter had been kicked out and returned with a gun. No suspect has been announced in the case. We do have a link to the GoFundMe site at KSDK.com. St. Louis native Michael Avenatti, a once high-profile attorney, was sentenced to 14 more years in prison today. A judge also ordered him to pay nearly $11 million in restitution for embezzling money from his clients. He will begin this sentence after serving a 5-year prison term for trying to extort money from Nike and stealing from former client Stormy Daniels, who sued former President Trump.
Sad news tonight from Hollywood. Actress Kirstie Alley has died. Her family made the announcement on social media just 3 hours ago. They're saying the star of Cheers and Drop Dead Gorgeous died after a short battle with cancer. Alley was 71. Tonight, your money's being stretched even more. Spire says you could see an increase in your natural gas bill as early as the end of the month. A 3% rate increase was recently approved. This comes just 1 year after the last increase. The average gas bill in our area, it's about $83 a month. To help customers, the company adjusted some of the qualifications for its payment partner program.
Previously, you had to be at 200% of the federal poverty level or less, and we've expanded that to families with incomes of 300% of the federal poverty level or less.
For a family of 4, that means a total household income of $83,000 or less. We have more information on this and other assistance programs. Just go to the As Seen on TV section at KSDK.com. We all know the holiday shopping season is well underway. I am way behind you.
Of course, always way behind. And if you feel like you've missed out on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, don't fret. Tonight, Consumer Reports is breaking down the best seasonal sales right now. It's the most wonderful time of year to cash in on sales. Consumer Reports tracked 35 products that typically offer the deepest discounts in December, including popular gift items like headphones, smart speakers, and tablets. Here are the top products to look out for in this month's best time to buy.
If you didn't get everything you wanted or needed this Black Friday or Cyber Monday, don't worry. A lot of those super low prices are still available, and there will be plenty of holiday deals that are nearly as good all month long.
Dazzle the ears with a new pair of high-end headphones. CR spotted these Sony wireless earbuds for as low as $228 at Amazon. Next, give the gift that'll perk up the morning of any coffee lover. This Cuisinart drip coffee maker is as low as $139.99 at Bed Bath & Beyond. CR says this coffee maker is very versatile, brewing K-cups and drip coffee, and is built to last. Surprise your loved one with a brand new tablet. CR has seen this Apple iPad Pro for as low as $799.99 at Best Buy, a massive discount on a high-end Apple product. And then there are gifts for the more practical types. This Stick Vac by Tineco is as low as $349.99 at Amazon. This high-end cordless stick vac cleaned up on CR's vacuum tests. And finally, if you're still using an early generation smart speaker, now might be the time to upgrade. Amazon Echo 4th generation is as low as $59.99 at Amazon and Best Buy. CR's testers say the sound quality is much improved over previous models. You might even notice the difference when you play your favorite holiday carols. Consumer Reports says other small appliances, plus electronics and fitness equipment, will be on sale through the end of the month, but inventory could vary still due to supply chain and delivery issues.
Tonight, a local veteran got a nice holiday surprise. The team from St. Louis Christmas Decor donated their time and supplies to put these Christmas lights on his home. They strung lights from the second-story roof line. Army veteran Todd O'Neill says he normally puts them up himself, but was happy someone else did the job.
For me, as I'm getting older, and I've got 4 kiddos, so I mean, it's kind of stressful, especially for me, you know, being up on that high roof. And to add on to all the other stressors that we have, it's just one less thing that I have to worry about.
And I'm sure the kids are loving it. St. Louis Christmas Decor does this every year for a veteran or first responder's family. You know who would be really good at putting up lights? Because he's always working on his house
Yes.
or his kid's house.
His retaining wall.
Yes, you
And
finished your retaining wall.
I'll bet you do put up your own lights.
I did, well, but I stick them in the ground on stakes, so it's really easy.
You're safe.
Do you
Yeah.
put up your kids?
Yeah, but
Your grown kids' lights?
They're on their own now, at that point. I'm not going to climb. I won't climb my roof for the lights. I will for the gutters.
That's
but,
probably
you know,
better.
Yeah, but then even then. Hey, did you see the sun today? Hopefully you got to see it some this afternoon. If you didn't, Jill shared this beautiful picture of the sunset this evening under a mostly sunny sky. It was a gorgeous sunset, lots of color. That's from far southern portions of St. Clair County, looking back to the west over Monroe County, Illinois. And the sun went right through the arches we show you from Worldwide Technology Raceway. Look at the color in the sky tonight. Unfortunately, clouds are going to win out over the next several days. A couple of systems we're going to be dealing with. The first comes in tomorrow with scattered showers. There is more significant rain on the way for Thursday. That system has a little more punch to it, but above average temperatures all this week, which essentially means that it's just rain and not wintry weather that we'll be dealing with. Right now, you still have some rain across parts of Tennessee, into Mississippi, Alabama, over into Georgia. Then to the north, we have some areas of light snow and flurries. And we say to the north, Iowa, Nebraska, heading up into the Dakotas and to Minnesota. Really, our weather system is still back here, kind of the stationary front that's down to the south, another wimpy front that's trying to drop in from the north. They'll all kind of congeal around the St. Louis area for tomorrow, and it means clouds, some areas of fog, especially east and southeast of St. Louis, and yes, some showers on the way. 38 degrees is where we are right now. Odds are we're about as cool as we're going to get. The clouds are thickening. 50 was our high today. Temperatures tonight holding steady or even going up as we head towards tomorrow morning. Here's the deal with tomorrow. There's rain showers coming our way, but there's nothing really all that heavy about them. It's more of an annoyance, more of a misty kind of thing off and on. Those scattered showers are mainly light, best chances midday into the afternoon hours. And then by tomorrow night, we'll be kicking that out. Unfortunately, on Wednesday, we don't kick any weather system far enough away to actually clear the clouds out. So by Wednesday night, more moisture is coming in from the south and west, which means by Thursday morning, a widespread shield of rain takes over the St. Louis area. This could produce upwards of 3/4 of an inch of rain, especially southeast of St. Louis, before it pulls out by early Friday morning. So tomorrow, scattered showers. You may need the umbrella, but you won't need it all day long. We're around 50 for the high. We'll see clouds holding on Wednesday. We have Thursday rain, especially in the morning, mostly cloudy Friday. As we get into the weekend, maybe we get a little bit of a break Saturday before more rain chances for the beginning of next week.
Better than snow. All right, Scott, Frank, what's coming up?
Well, the Blues have found another way to lose. The Cardinals are talking catchers at the winter meetings and the inspiration behind a state title. I don't know many who didn't like the Blues at the beginning of the season. Great coach, 8 guys returning with 20 or more goals, a goaltender coming off a good playoff, and 3 high-priced defensemen. Well, they didn't escape from New York tonight with a win. In fact, they've now lost 6 of their last 7 games. Susan Sarandon in Madison Square Garden tonight, and fittingly, the teams played with some Thelma and Louise-like recklessness. Opening moments, second period, Vladimir Tarasenko, we are tied at 2. Later in the second, the Blues on the power play. Jordan Kyrou is back and he scored. We're tied at 3. A little later, the Blues make it 4-3 on a nice hustling rebound goal by Ryan O'Reilly. Then it got easy. K'Andre Miller with a soft goal here, 4-4. Then it's Alexis Lafreniere deflection goal. And the Blues are making more turnovers than Nathaniel Reed. Ivan Barbashev gives it up. Chris Kreider with a shorthanded goal. Blues lose their 4th in a row, 6-4.
Play with confidence, and right now we're we're not a confident hockey team. Thought we played 2 great periods, controlled the game, did a lot of real good things. But, the third, when it's on the line, we didn't play with confidence.
The baseball winter meetings have begun in San Diego. The Cardinals were as quiet as a monk today, but they have been linked in a trade with Oakland for catcher Sean Murphy. So have the Astros. And you keep hearing a rumor about a shortstop, possibly Dansby Swanson, still a long shot. Speaking of shortstops, the Phillies got themselves the best one, Trey Turner. And like my wife's purchases, it wasn't on sale. $300 million, 11 years. He's 29 and an absolute stud who runs, hits for power and for average. The Phillies want to win the pennant again. So do the Mets. They just signed Justin Verlander for $86.7 million for 2 years. That means he ties his New York teammate Max Scherzer for the highest annual average at 43.33 per year. He will turn 40, but he was pretty good at 39, winning the Cy Young by going 18-4. Francis Howell's football season was perfect. A state title and a 14-0 record. You may know that. You may not know that a man who helped to run their junior program, a guy in this photo, helped to inspire that varsity team. With the help of editor Bill Bennett, we give you the story. He was a standout football player at Francis Howell. Dave Graff loved the sport so much that he coached in the Junior Vikings program, and the kids loved their coach.
I've known him since I was a little kid, and growing up, he was kind of always a second father figure to me. That man, Brady Holtman, number 4, the team captain, scored 24 touchdowns for the state champion Vikings this year, and he feels the impact of Graff every day. It's always important to treat people how you want to be treated, I think was a big thing with him, because you're going to get in what you get out with your teammates. Dave, a husband to Kimberly for 35 years, was diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago. He was given 6 months. He passed this November, the day that Howell won their quarterfinal game. But he wasn't forgotten. Players put his name on their helmets, and the players remembered him with prayer. The prayer that Dave used to pray with them before and after all their games. Dave was always looking at the bigger picture for his players.
Just did a phenomenal job. It wasn't necessarily his coaching, it was more of the culture, playing for each other, that he helped teach our kids even before they showed up at Francis Howell.
And as the team celebrated their first ever title in Columbia on Friday, Holtman had this thought.
This state title is for him.
His famous saying, more life and more love. He said, you will have more life if you have more love in your life.
A beautiful tribute. Thank you, Frank. All right. They are the unlikely big spenders this holiday season, the generation willing to pay more despite inflation. Soon, your neighborhood pharmacist could be filling your prescriptions from another town. CVS is testing a system to let pharmacists work remotely. CVS says this will free up pharmacists to provide vaccinations and health screenings.
Gen Z is going old school when it comes to holiday shopping. They flooded malls and brick-and-mortar stores on Black Friday, treating it as a social event by shopping with friends. Analysts say younger consumers are ready to spend despite inflation because they're not burdened as much with bills.
A popular drink from the 1980s is enjoying a resurgence. The espresso martini, a mix of vodka, coffee liqueur, and espresso, is now in the top 10 of the most ordered cocktails in the U.S. Could be linked to sales of Kahlua, which has seen record growth. Or we're all just exhausted because society has started up again.
Yeah, just don't have those late at night because you will be up all night.
Yes, sometimes you need them.
Yeah, and there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.